What up, fight world? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Back with my post-fight review for David Lemieux versus CRISTIAN Fabian Rios in Canada, Bell Center. And this was a Golden Boy pay-per-view. I wrote some notes. It looks like chicken scratch, but I'll kind of go over it. It's just to help me remember certain points. Now, I'm going to Golden Boy, their verified Twitter account, and David Lemieux won via unanimous decision. These were the scorecards: 100 to 90, 100 to 90, 99 to 91, all in favor of David Lemieux. So congrats to Lemieux for winning the fight. Now, let's get into it, the good, bad, and the ugly. The good is David Lemieux won. He's back in his winning ways since the Golovkin loss. This is his second win in a row. He beat Glenn Tapia, and also he beat Rios. And I really wish it was Curtis Stevens. That was the person that this date and this fight was supposed to be, but with budget cuts and everything, it fell through. Now, I like David Lemieux's vicious body attack offensively. Very good stuff in there. I really liked his body attack probably the most. He was dedicating a lot of effort into the breadbasket and attacking the body of Rios, which you could tell Rios was getting hurt. Rios, good thing for him, he was very durable, very tough, because like some of the shots he was getting hit and what he endured for the stretch was probably more than a lot of people probably could have taken. But that's really what it is. I think the right man won. Now, I got to get to like the bad. The bad is David Lemieux, even though he won and the scorecards were pretty accurate, I don't think he looked exceptional. I thought he looked really good versus Glenn Tapia. So given the opponent he was in there with, I was expecting him to be able to build from that and look spectacular, probably get an early knockout. Like, if you look at it, this performance wasn't, I just got to be honest, it wasn't that impressive. And I'm going to break down with some of these other bullet points why it wasn't that impressive to me. It was just, to me, it was very plodding, very one-trick pony-ish, and very one-dimensional. It was like a flat performance. And I'm a big fan of David Lemieux. Like when he was fighting guys like Fernando Guerrero and stuff like that, I was like, wow, this dude his offense is crazy. Gabe Rosado. But I don't think that Lemieux, that's not what he looked like tonight to me. Now, the reason I say that, one of the biggest reasons, is David Lemieux was getting countered extremely easy. And you talk about Rios. Rios is a guy who is relatively unknown in the whole boxing world, right? And this was a tune-up fight, which actually goes to my ugly. The ugly is that Golden Boy tried to charge $50 for this pay-per-view. Oh, I forgot to end. $50 for a pay-per-view for this card. That's why I put LOL. It wasn't. I clearly didn't pay for it, but I try to support boxing, but I just couldn't do it for this particular card. $50? Nah. But back to the bad. With David Lemieux, he was just getting countered way too easy. No type of slipping punches, head movement. It was just kind of one mode the whole time. And that's what I said in my next point. Lemieux, no head movement, punch variation, which I'm going to get to, etc. It was one mode, and he was just loading up on all of his shots, it felt like, and pitching fastballs. Now, he is strong. He does have power, but against elite level names, that's not gonna, that one, it's like the group One Direction. It's like one mode. That's not gonna cut it. You know what I'm saying? And before, the Canelo versus David Lemieux was very appetizing to me, but after seeing this performance from Lemieux, it's not so much, because if Canelo, the only thing that I would watch it and I would accept that is because I know if he beats Lemieux, that's a step in the right direction to get the Golovkin fight. Plus, the big thing is Canelo, even though he's big and he's fought at 155, it's still moving up. He would be moving up to 160. So Lemieux can get you out of there if he hits you with the right shot. You know what I'm saying? So I would still watch Canelo versus Lemieux. But from a skill perspective, Canelo will annihilate. Canelo does very good if you don't do certain things. Like Floyd Mayweather, like what's his name? Edeslandi Lara. If you don't use skilled movement, lateral movement, and you come straight at him, you've seen what happens with Liam Smith. So again, the only variable for that fight would be, can Canelo take a big puncher at middleweight's best shots, you know what I mean, or something he doesn't see coming. That would be really it. But from a skill perspective, Canelo would destroy David Lemieux if he can in fact take his power. And that's an if, you know what I mean? Because David Lemieux is a power puncher. But at least if the David Lemieux that showed up tonight showed up, Canelo would chop him. He would chop him up. And I thought Lemieux looked offensively sharper versus Glenn Tapia. I thought he looked really good in that fight. So this performance was kind of a regression. Round 7, Rios literally ran. I know a lot of you guys like to talk about runners and stuff. He was literally running. And that's the thing is, when I look at it, Rios, it's not like he's just an exceptional, like, tricky style, like even a Willie Monroe or somebody. You know what I'm saying? And he was able to, at times, even though he was losing, stand his ground, counter, and kind of freeze David Lemieux. You know what I'm saying? And to me, I look at it like this. This is the next point. If Canelo, Triple G, or Jacobs were to have fought Rios, what would happen? Triple G would have destroyed Rios. He does good with movers. He's good at cutting off the ring. And I think Canelo, skill-wise, if his power moves up to 160, he would have chopped up Rios, right? Because Rios is not like a Erislandy Lara level elite when it comes to moving. He's tough and all that, but he wasn't moving phenomenally or like Rigondeaux, like so gracefully, or Mayweather. He wasn't doing anything like that. Canelo does struggle with movers, but he was just kind of mixing it up ever so slightly. Same thing with Jacobs. You look at Jacobs. If Jacobs were to have fought Rios, the Rios that I seen, and to my credit, I haven't really seen anything from Rios other than this fight. That's why I didn't really want to see this fight. That's why I damn sure wasn't paying $50 for it. But Jacobs would have destroyed Rios. You know what I mean? You look at Sergio Mora. Is there anyone out there who's going to say Sergio Mora is less accomplished or less skilled than Rios? And you've seen what happened when Jacobs fought him in the last fight, in the first 2 fights really, but especially the second fight, because the first one was a little bit of an asterisk because he hurt his knee in the first fight. But in the second fight, he knocked him down 5 times. And Jacobs was able to figure it out and have a dominant performance. So I really expected more from Lemieux. You know what I mean? I expected him to be able to be more methodical in his approach. You know what I mean? You look at elite fighter, even like a Conor McGregor, say what you want, but he at least tried some different things and made some adjustments in his fight with Nate Diaz part 1 versus part 2. In the second one, he came back and he was very methodical in those first 2 rounds. Like he wasn't trying to load up every shot as much. He was impactful and he had some good shots, but it wasn't like he was just putting everything on him in those first rounds like he did in the first fight. So I just really wanted to see more from Lemieux, some growth. And to me, this wasn't a better performance than the Glenn Tapia or Fernando Guerrero or Gabe Rosado, those types of performance and those wins for Lemieux. And this leads me to my next question. I really got to see Triple G versus Danny Jacobs, or somebody who is a bit better, because some people believe that David Lemieux is Triple G's biggest win. That's his best win on his resume. And if you guys feel different, drop that in the comment section. Some people say, I've heard say Martin Murray, Dominic Wade. I don't know. But the bottom line, Triple G's resume is not that deep. And this is the best win. Like, I see why Triple G, once I seen kind of what David Lemieux was doing in here, I see why Triple G was able to easily command him with the jab, because he was literally plowing forward, and that's just not going to cut it. You know what I mean? At elite level, that's not going to cut it. Like, it's like he wants to just come forward, come straight at you, take whatever you offer, and if he could take that, then he's going to try to break you down. But you got to do some different things there. You got to bend at the waist and bend at the knees and move your head, jab, you know what I mean? Come in with the jab. You have to do some things at the elite level to increase your chances of winning. So like, when I look at it, like, hypothetically, if you could crunch David Lemieux down into a welterweight form, guys like Errol Spence Jr., Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao, they would destroy David Lemieux stylistically. You know what I mean? Yeah, there's a chance he just hits him with something they don't recover from, but Floyd Mayweather's been fighting bigger guys. So if David Lemieux was a natural welterweight, Floyd Mayweather would toy with him. He's too slow, and he lacks too much defense. You know what I'm saying? And he'd be looking for home runs all night. Same thing with Pacquiao. Pacquiao's money punch is a straight left, and this CRISTIAN Fabian Rios was landing some impressive straight lefts, and it looked like it got Lemieux's attention, or at least his respect. So to me, I wanted to see more. This was a hometown fight. This was an unknown guy. I expected more. I understand you're not going to be able to stop everybody, but offensively, I think he probably could have got a stoppage. It looked like he was hurting Rios, but when a guy is not really offering you that much, I feel like you have to put it together. You know what I mean? Like guys, like I said earlier, Canelo, Triple G, Jacobs, if they would have fought Rios, he wasn't doing enough for it to go the distance with them. You know what I mean? Because their offensive skill set is going to be different. They're going to mix it up more. I think Lemieux looked a little bit predictable, and he looked it's just kind of generic, his combinations, just wide punches and coming straight forward, and it was kind of telegraphed what he was doing. So to me, from this performance, well, not just this performance, but in general, Lemieux, he reminded me a lot of Ruslan Provodnikov. No defense, but if he catches you right, you're in for a tough fight and a tough night. He clearly can crack. He clearly has power, and if he doesn't respect your power, or if he hits you right, then of course he's in the fight. But I wanted to see more variety from Lemieux, but that's just kind of what it is. Rios was hanging around hurt, but occasionally taking stands. Lemieux, not enough variety in his attack, and I do believe that. I just feel like you have to put it together. You look at fights like, let's say, Canelo versus James Kirkland. Kirkland, same type of thing. Kirkland was the reason he got knocked out is because how Canelo set him up and put things together. Upstairs, downstairs, upstairs, upstairs, uppercut. You know what I'm saying? He's mixing it up too much with deceptively quick hands to the point where Kirkland didn't know what was coming at him and what to protect, and then he got slept. You know what I'm saying? David Lemieux, I think, could have got a stoppage here, but he would have had to do a lot of things different, and you know what I mean? He needs to work on his defense and stuff like that. So I'll watch the Canelo fight. I think a Curtis Stevens is probably a better fight because they're more evenly matched. Because again, to me, if Canelo can take Lemieux's power, which I don't know, that's why I would watch it. If he could take his power, then skill-wise, he's going to be too much for David Lemieux. You know what I mean? He's going to either outbox him or stop him, and that's just my honest opinion. But let me know what you guys thought of David Lemieux. Definitely wasn't worth the $50 admission to watch it, but we'll see what happens next at middleweight. And let me know what you think of Golovkin. I definitely think after watching this, like this is the guy you beat. It was a champion who won a vacant belt, who had no title defenses, and he has no defense. So you know what I mean? A guy who has power like Golovkin. I'm not trying to shit on his win. He did what he had to do to win, but at the same time, I would like to see more. Like you look at, let's say Mayweather. Mayweather beat Canelo, and Canelo has went on to do pretty well for himself because he's still at that level. He's still learning, and you know what I mean. He went on to beat Lara, kind of controversial, but he beat Miguel Cotto clearly, beat Kirkland, beat Khan. You know what I'm saying? So he went on to get some pretty solid wins here and there, or performances. You know what I mean? And Lemieux, he's going the distance with really an unknown CRISTIAN Fabian Rios. It just doesn't really make sense if we're talking about elite. Like I said, I don't think that Danny Jacobs or Triple G would have went the distance. Other middleweights like that would have went the distance, because I think they would have mixed up their attack so much and they would have forced a stoppage. Let me know what you guys thought of David Lemieux's performance. Again, he won, so shout out to that. Got another W in the column. Drop it in the comment section. Share the video, like the video as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video, is Ego signing off.